Uh, Mirai Ninja is the first video game movie. It came out 5 years before the Mario Brothers movie, the original one, the live action one. Um, and it's much better than that one. It's based off the video game with obviously the same name, um, by Namco, I think. Um, it was a good movie. It is worth it alone to watch on its action scenes. The plot is kind of nonsensical, but the action scenes are awesome. Think of it like Star Wars, like the original trilogy of Star Wars, but set in feudal Japan. It was very fun. Um, it was because they had like laser guns, they had laser shotguns, um, they had swords. The swords had bullets in them that when they hit enemies with, they could eject and a bunch of like gas came out of them and to kill the enemies, which was really cool. Most of it was there was obviously a lot of like there was like laser stuff and all that like laser stuff was done in post, but um like there was a lot of pyrotechnics in that were like actual physical things. They weren't like done in post. There was a use of a lot of models in like so like the final castle that they went to was a model, and like it burst out with mechanical legs at the end, which is really cool. Um, they had like the flying ship was a model that they were in. There's like little AT-AT walkers, well, essentially AT-AT walkers that just had they have the feudal Japan housing. These are like some metal slug type things. Um, which were really cool to see. It was also really cool to see like in far away shots of like landscapes and like the sun, it was paintings. Like it was physical paintings, which was really cool. The action scenes were so cool to see. Another really cool thing about the film was that it had really extensive costumes. Like the main villain guy had like spider legs out of his things, and he was fully in green face paint. Um, there was there was like one guy that looked kind of like Predator, but like it was like sheer white. There was like grimy down brown stuff on it. He had a mask that like would extend out to like emit like gas that was put in post. That would like explode people's heads. Um, there was there was several ones that I was watching. So somebody were joking about how it was like furry ninjas because they had like different like cat heads and stuff. Um, uh, the plot side of it though is pretty generic. It's like a guy. There's like these robo ninjas and they're invading and they're trying to capture the princess. And so they end up killing um the there's two brothers. They end up killing one of the brothers, um, and so his other brother like begs this one tough guy to take him to get revengeance on him, and he does. And then they end up finding a robo ninja that's killing other robo ninjas, and of course it turns out to be that was his brother because they kidnapped his brother and had to use his. This is the thing. It's very like classic hero's journey sort of story arc where it's just like it's the plot points make sense. What doesn't make sense is the villain's plan was almost so convoluted that you couldn't tell what was happening. So like there was this tree of life that had the brother's old skeleton in it because they needed a human blood and flesh. So that's why the brother was in the Robomech. But um, the tree was actually an umbilical cord, and it was an umbilical cord to bring back the spirit of this one guy who was then put into the fortress. They also kidnapped the warrior princess, who, by the way, did no bits of warring. She sat on the sideline whole battles, and the only action she got was to take off of her long robe into like incredibly skimpy clothes to grab someone's knife and do like a Chun-Li slash, and had like the after trail of effects that were painted in post. She killed one person, all the fighting she did, even though they kept making a point that she was a warrior princess. Um, there was also like, the old general who was. It's just every like classic character trope in Star Wars. Again, this is just, I don't know. It was a good film, I would say. On the costumes and the fight scenes alone were worth it, and the stories there just to get you to the next fighting set point. Um, Honestly, this is probably one of the best video game movies, and it was the first. It's I think I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed the Sonic films. I'll say it. But yeah, that's it.